Welcome to another edition of Reyes Power International. Today I'd like to talk about partial squats for the deadlift. Now, one of the greatest conventional deadlifters of the latter 20th century was Vince Anello. Now, Anello used partial squats as assistance for his deadlift. He turned this type of assistance work back off work, which he performed after his regular squat workout. Now, Vince explained, after regular squats, I set the pins on the power rack so that when I touch the pins, the angle of my leg bend is approximately the same as the start of my deadlift. The same foot stance should be used in the deadlift, for this is close. In other words, for him it was a close stance. I go on to quote, lower the weight slowly to the pin, touching the pin, but not resting on it, and perform 3 reps in the same manner. I recommend 3 sets of 3. The weight used is relative to the structure of the individual. I do this exercise after my squats and add from 30 to 50 pounds more than my top squat of the day. Now, this may have to be modified to suit the individual's strength, weaknesses, and structure. I recommend this only be done once per week. Like many training techniques, partial squats have their pros and cons. Now, obviously, the partial squat aided Anello in achieving some of the most astounding deadlift numbers for a lifter under 200 pounds. He had lifted, unofficially in the upper 800s. I think it was around 880. Now, on the other hand, lifters should be aware of the risk associated with partial squats. Let's talk about that. Now, a partial squat forces the quadriceps to bear the brunt of the load early in the movement. The initial contraction doesn't have a chance to stretch and relax at the bottom of the lift as it does in a full squat. Hip extension is shortened, which limits hamstring recruitment. The knees end up bearing the brunt of the load. Now the knees slide forward, creating shear in the knee joints. This sets the lifter up for a patellar tendon rupture. In a full squat, the hips bear the brunt of the load, not the knees. Knee shear is not a concern during a full squat because muscular contribution is maximized. Although today's video concerns partial squats for the deadlift, it is important to be aware that a similar scenario to partial squats is present when performing leg presses to assist the deadlift. Now, lowering the leg sled only part of the way places more stress on the knees. Lowering the sled as far as possible allows the quadriceps to stretch and relax and recruits the hips. Now, partial squats and leg presses will undoubtedly strengthen one's deadlift, but knowing the risk posed to the knees, knee wraps should always be used along with a spotter.
I'd like to thank everybody for watching today's video. I've been power bodybuilding now for 37 years, and I want to share that information with you. So if you've enjoyed today's video, please subscribe and share with your friends.